Welcome guys to the Meet Damien channel. Excuse me. I just got back from vacation and somebody got me sick. So I'm gonna try my best here to continue the Meet Damien live stream here. We're gonna be talking about Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, Pangu, XRP. I see my buddy John put in the requests already, but I want to go over those few coins I just mentioned just now. We're gonna go over Chronos and ZBCN as the first two requests, and this is gonna be like a 2-hour live stream. So sit tight, have fun, enjoy the music. Let me know if I need to turn the music down. Let me know if you guys can hear me pretty well. I'm gonna turn it down on my end for now. But yeah, we'll get started talking about Bitcoin. Excuse me. I titled the video, you know, when Bitcoin new all-time high, right? When will we actually see the new all-time high for Bitcoin? What is it gonna come this month? It might possibly. Looks like we just created what possibly could be a higher low here on the daily time frame for Bitcoin, where we saw Bitcoin get as low as $112,000 on August 2nd. Flirting with this buy zone here, not really going into my buy zone here. Okay, I think the buy zone could still possibly be where we could get some cheaper Bitcoin if this is not gonna hold up here. But right now we're getting right back into the golden pocket here on the Fibonacci analysis for my analysis here on Bitcoin. If we continue to show some more strength here, then we're looking at Bitcoin coming up to the 0.786 retracement at $17,929. Could be kind of like a rest stop before Bitcoin continues and shows more strength to get back to $123,000. That could happen later on this month, I believe. We could see $123,000 Bitcoin all over again. And then after that, you know, I still think we'll see $130,000 Bitcoin according to this 1272 Fibonacci Fib extension level that I got here. And this is just measuring that. If you want to know how I got these Fibonacci levels, I did 123K all the way down to 98K, which is where Bitcoin was at back on June 22nd here. So I think these are good Fib levels as of now. Okay. And I still think Bitcoin could go to $130,000 later on in the month of August, maybe September, especially if we get that interest rate cut that we're all talking about for the September Federal Reserve meeting. But if Bitcoin does decide to come on down to lower prices here, we do have the 50-day moving average sitting at 108,300, which is confluent with the 0.382 retracement, and it might be somewhere in between the 0.5 and the 0.382 retracement. My buy zone was between 107.7K and 110.7K, but I don't know if we're actually going to go down to that level because it looks like we're kind of getting some bids right now on Bitcoin. Let me just do a quick volume check here. Okay, yep, I can hear myself. Good. All right. And yeah, back to the regular scheduled program here. I see we got Jake in here. Good to see you, Jake. We're going to be here for a live stream for about 2 hours. We're talking about Bitcoin first, as we usually do. And then we're going to talk about Solana and Ethereum, Pudgy Penguin Coin, XRP. And then I got a request for Chronos and ZBCN. And I'll be taking some requests as well for like the first hour of this live stream. But then towards the end of this live stream, I want to actually show you guys some live trading here if possible. We'll see how things go. But I know you guys usually keep me busy with the requests, so it's going to be a combination between taking your requests and also doing some live trading here, because I want to make some money when there's money to be made, if I can. And I want to show you guys how I do it. Alright. So, moving on from Bitcoin, we'll take a look at Solana. And I have a list here, guys. I have a list of coins that I want to look at. Okay, I don't know if you can see it. I'll show it to my TikTok guys too. Okay. But I have a list of coins that I want to do, and I put XRP in the middle there because I know people always request XRP. And I like to save it towards the middle to the end of the live stream, because then someone's like, hey, can you look at XRP? And I'm like, we just looked at it like 30 minutes ago. Anyways, moving on to Solana here. Solana currently trading at $168. Getting a bounce off the 200-day moving average. It kind of dipped below. It gave us a little bit of a scare here on Saturday. Went a little bit below the 200-day moving average, but this 200-day moving average, this red line, is holding as support as of now. That's 200-day moving average is currently below us at $161. If you're able to get Solana at $161, I think that could be a good buy zone area. I was looking at the live stream. I was live streaming yesterday on the ferry. As you guys know, I came back from Martha's Vineyard from my vacation. I was there for like 2 weeks. Fun, right? At the beach. And I was eyeballing. I was trying to see if I could get some cheaper Solana at $151, but it looks like we're catching some bids right now. And I mean, I could still wait to see if I can get some Solana at $151, $152, but just because that's what you want doesn't mean it's what you're gonna get. You know, the market's gonna do what the market wants to do. And we did get some good news. Well, not some good news, but we got some resolution as to like what Donald Trump is gonna do with the tariffs on India. They raised the tariffs on India because they want them to stop buying oil from Russia. So that news came out this morning. And let me just quickly show you the news article here while we're talking about Solana here. We see that Trump raised India tariffs to 50% over Russian oil purchases. And they already had a 25% tariff already, but they put another 25% on them. And this news came out like 10 o'clock in the morning. And I guess that's why we kind of got some bids. Bitcoin started jumping up in price after 10 o'clock this morning. And I think like Wall Street was holding their breath because they weren't sure what the number was going to be. Was Donald Trump going to do 100% tariffs on India? 150% tariffs? It only came out to like 50%. So the market's like, okay, that's over. Now we can get back to business here. So anyways, I had to add that in there. I think because the market now got rid of that uncertainty about tariffs over India, we're able to cast some bids here on Solana. And yeah, I have noticed like over the past here that we had an inverse head and shoulder pattern that sent us up, and we did go up to as high as like $206 on Solana. I still think that's a possibility here for us to go to $206 on Solana. I'm going to turn the music down a little bit on my end. And I just think, you know, what we have here is, you know, Solana has good market structure. We have higher lows being formed here. Okay, this could possibly be another higher low, and then we're going to be onward making another higher high. And right now, the last recent high at $205, I think we need to beat that. Okay, but let me just quickly do a Fibonacci here so you can see like where the levels might be for Solana when it does continue going up to higher prices. So if we measure from the top here at $295 down to the low at $95, which occurred back in April. The levels that I'm looking for is first $196, which is your 0.5 retracement. That probably could be where we get some resistance on top of the resistance here at the previous high at 206. But then the level that I'm really looking for my Solana spot bags and for my swing trades is that I'm looking for $219 to $226 Solana, which is your golden pocket retracement. We still haven't made it back to that level, even though we dropped like a rock on Solana back in February, March of this year. We haven't seen that level for a while now. Okay. And I think this is a level where a lot of people that were buying Solana back in like December of last year, in January, okay, they might decide that they don't want to do Solana anymore, and they might want to just sell and break even, and maybe they go into like another crypto, like Pudgy Penguins or something like that, okay, or XRP. But I think, you know, for those who are, you know, don't want to take a loss, they're gonna wait until they get to $226, break even, say that they didn't lose money, and then go do something else with their money. Okay, but then after that, we do have the 0.786 retracement that says that there could be some more resistance for Solana at $253. So these are your long-term take profit targets. This could happen later on this month or next month. Okay, for Solana. Okay, I think we'll see a $200 Solana. Especially if Bitcoin is making new all-time highs, we'll see a $200 Solana, maybe a $250 Solana later on in August, going into September. So those are my upside targets for Solana. I don't think I really covered downside targets, but yeah, downside target is this. We'll probably get support off the 100-day moving average at $151, which is this blue line that I'm looking at. And then we also got the 0.236 retracement at $143. That could also act as support if you know, we decide to come down there for any reason. All right, moving on from Solana to Ethereum, and then we'll got Pudgy Penguins after that. And here we are looking at Ethereum, currently trading at $3,657. I already got the Fibonacci analysis for this. Moving averages are right below us. Okay. Ethereum has made a pretty significant move here in the month of July, catching all these bids here, all these green candles on the daily time frame, and it was in need of a consolidation move, which we're finally getting right now. Okay, we topped out here. It looks like we topped out on July 28th at $3,941 Ethereum. That's where I started my fib level here, from 3,900. Down to where Ethereum was trading at 2,100 for like the month of June here. Okay, and I got these Fibonacci numbers to look at here. We're currently sitting near the 0.786 retracement after we just had a even steeper retracement down to the golden pocket level. Looks like how low did we go here? We got down to 33.57. So we almost came down to the golden pocket at, you know, 3,317. Looks like traders and Ethereum investors were anxious to get their hands on some Ethereum at the golden pocket level. They front ran it, so we didn't really actually touch the golden pocket before we actually came right back up to the 786 retracement here. And that's good to see. That means there's a lot of enthusiasm and thirst for Ethereum. I quickly want to take a look at the I want to look at the money flow indicator just to see, like, you know, what the money flow is for Ethereum. Could give us an idea as, like, you know, how much money is going into Ethereum and whether money is going in or out. I use this indicator called the money flow intensity by Joe Cool. And oh wow, I gotta get rid of some of these indicators here. And you just get rid of this for now, and get rid of that, and get rid of this. So I got this money flow indicator that I'm currently looking at for Ethereum, and it just shows that, you know, over the last few weeks here, you know, since almost like the beginning of July, we have seen money going into Ethereum big time towards the middle of July, after we got that Stablecoin Genius Act passed here in the United States. And now the enthusiasm is kind of dying down here a little bit, but we're still in the green, okay? And there's nothing that says that we have to continue going down. We could start seeing money go back into Ethereum. So that's good to see, all right? Obviously, we've seen, you know, some of the bad months here, like February and March and April of this year, was when money was going out of Ethereum, but now money is going into Ethereum. Kind of had like a nice little peak here in July, and maybe we could start seeing that money flow back into it again. I think, you know, we might be catching just a higher low here on Ethereum, okay? Because the money flow is looking pretty healthy from what I see, okay? And if Ethereum starts catching some more bids, okay, to the upside, then yeah, we got the 1272 fib extension that says we can see $4,400 Ethereum. I mean, Ethereum almost went to $4,000 in the month of July, so that doesn't surprise me if we see $4,400 in the month of August. Going into, maybe towards the end of August, maybe September, we see $4,400 Ethereum. And then $5,000 Ethereum, well, that'd be a new all-time high. That could possibly be, later on in 2025. Who knows? Maybe as early as September. Okay. But we do have these targets here to look at using the Fibonacci. And that's all you can really do, because we never been to $5,000 on Ethereum. But the Fib extension is saying that that's a target. The 1618, $5,000 Ethereum could be a possibility. All right. Moving on from Ethereum to one of the more popular meme coins that actually did very well in 2025, and that is Pudgy Penguins. Let's take a look at Pudgy Penguins. I'm actually in a day trade on Pudgy Penguins. I think we might have caught, if this is going to be a higher low, and Pudgy Penguins one of the stronger meme coins here, this could be heading to higher prices here. Pudgy Penguins is currently trading at just 0.033 pennies. I think I got in earlier today at like 0.0337 myself. Okay, today we came as low as 0.032, and I think I got my stop loss right below that, because if I kept my stop loss tight, I'm using 20x leverage. We can look at my trade and how it's doing later on in the live stream here when I do the live trading. But yeah, I'm not risking too much, because if we're gonna continue going down, then I will just re-enter the long on Pudgy Penguins at a lower price if they're gonna give it to me. But I just think that we've already created a higher low here, and I'm just waiting for us to start going up to higher prices here on Pudgy Penguins. Let me get rid of this analysis here. I have to do a different Fibonacci analysis on this thing, because this thing has done some amazing things over the month of July here. I'll give it to that. And I think this is one of the meme coins that is worth getting into, because they're actually making money. They're selling merchandise. Pudgy Penguins has like an online store. They're making money, and I think they're going to take some of that money and start burning some of their tokens, or at least that's what they should do. And then that's going to create less supply of Pudgy Penguins, and that's going to hopefully send the price of Pudgy Penguins to higher prices if there's less supply of it. But anyways, we're just currently trading, on the Fibonacci analysis. We're currently trading right next to the golden pocket here. 0.618 at 0.0318 pennies. All right, so the Pudgy Penguin has already done the normal expected pullback to the golden pocket level. If we do have a deeper retracement, a better level to get into Pudgy Penguin would probably be this 0.5 retracement at 0.027 pennies, a little bit under 3 pennies here. And maybe if it's going to try to go a little bit further than that, then we got the 0.382 at 0.0226 pennies here, okay? Highly doubt, unless, something really bad happens in the markets or something specific to this coin, something bad happens. But we do have the 0.236 that says this thing could get to $0.015, roughly, this red zone here, okay? And that would be kind of confluent with the 50-day moving average. That could be your ultimate support level. I don't know if you're going to be lucky enough to actually get this coin at that level, because this thing normally hasn't done really any pullbacks. And when it does, it's not that significant a pullback. It's just like it just trades sideways, and then it goes up again, and then trades sideways. And now we came down. Now we're down at the golden retracement level. I think this is a good time. If you've been trying to get in the Pudgy Penguins, I think this is a good time to take a nibble. See how it goes over the next couple of days, next couple of weeks, and then take another nibble. And if Pudgy Penguin continues rocketing up to higher prices like it's done over the last couple of months, we'll see 4.5 pennies all over again. That's actually where my first take profit target is on Pudgy Penguins. Just getting back to where we were, a week ago maybe, on July 27th. And then the second take profit target would be the 1272 at 0.057 pennies. And then the third take profit target will be the 1618 at 0.07 pennies. This could be a 7 penny crypto. Maybe in September, maybe. You know, I think we could probably get to that level, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not gonna put target dates. I'll give you one of two. I'm not gonna give you two at the same time. I'm not gonna give you a target price and a target date. I'm not gonna be like, hey, on September 15th of 2025, we're gonna be at 7 pennies for paying you. No, I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball like that. I'm just saying that just the way the markets move, this could happen in the next couple of months. I can't give you the exact date. And the level that it could get up to is saying it could get up to 7 pennies for Pudgy Penguins. Okay. Let me just check out, see how my guys here on TikTok are doing. I see we got Oz the Crypto Goat in here. Guys, you should take a look at Oz the Crypto Goat. He's another fellow streamer on YouTube and TikTok. Let me see if I can pull him up on TikTok. And just quickly go over my TikTok channel here. See, I got a couple of people just follow me. Appreciate that. Thank you. So yeah, this is my Meet Damien TikTok channel. We have a pretty good following here, but let's see how Oz is doing here. Let's try to see if we get some people to. I'm just gonna give him a shout out here. Yeah, so he's got a couple thousand more followers than me, and he talks about crypto a lot. So you might want to give him a a follow and a subscribe. He's also on YouTube. He's trying to build up his YouTube. He has the same kind of problem as I do. Like, we're both big on TikTok, but our following is not that big on YouTube. So if you guys can check out him on YouTube as well. Let's see if I could pull that up here real quick. Alright, so yep, there's another guy that you guys should check out, his Trade Intuition. But let's see how Oz is doing, because Oz the Crypto, let's see, Crypto, see how that comes out. I know I'm pretty sure I follow him on here on YouTube. I don't know why it's not showing up here. There we go. Yeah, so we gotta work on getting this number up for Oz here, but he's doing some content here on YouTube as well. Okay, I think he probably needs to do more content, and then he'll get a bigger following here. And then also, don't forget to check me out here on YouTube as well. I'm trying to get my subscribers up to 1,000 so I can get my YouTube channel monetized. Okay, but yeah, I'm live streaming here on YouTube and TikTok at the same time. And you can check out all my content, long form and short form content, on YouTube here. All right. Okay, back to Pudgy Penguins. So I think I gave you guys the upside downside targets on Pudgy Penguins, right? Because we already looked at the fib levels here, we looked at the 50-day, and we also took a look at the upside. So let's go ahead and move on to another crowd favorite for 2025, and that's XRP. All right, so we got XRP currently trading at $2.98. Looking at the fib levels here, as we always do. XRP, I thought the XRP army was going to defend the $3 level. They're trying to. They almost lost the battle here on Saturday, where we came down to the 0.5 retracement. We even came down a little bit below the 0.5 retracement at $2.78. But yeah, keep doing what you're doing here with XRP. Let's not go lower than what we did here on Saturday. We'll count this as a higher low before we go up to higher prices here. If we do go up to higher prices, we got the 786 retracement that could act as resistance at $3.28. And then of course, let's see if we can get right back to where we were here in July when we got up to $3.65 on XRP. And then if you can do that, then you got the fib extension saying that we could see a $4.13 XRP. Now let's go ahead and look at the oscillators here. I'm gonna have to change my format here. Give me my full battle stations with all the data here. Okay. So now I'm just gonna quickly look at the RSI here. RSI is sitting at like 50, so XRP has cooled down after being overbought here back in July. I think we have reset the oscillators where we can actually start moving up to higher prices again, as long as we get the green light to do so. And let's see, do we have the green light to do so? If I go to Market Cipher B, you know, we had a red dot here on XRP that says you should have sold XRP at on Sunday, July 20th, and now we're just waiting for a green dot to show up here on the daily time frame, saying that you know, we can start buying XRP. Last time we had a green dot on XRP was June 24th, and we all know what happened after June 24th with XRP, right? XRP almost making new all-time highs again. Okay. Right after June 24th is when you got that green buy dot. So we're just waiting for that green buy dot to show up and give us the green light to go to higher prices here on XRP. Okay. Yeah, I think XRP is just doing fine. It's just doing consolidation here. Don't lose this low here on Saturday, August 2nd. We do not want to go lower than $2 and $2.73 here. Don't go lower than that, please. Because if you do, then the bears start to build up their case that we're going to go to lower prices here. And if we do go to lower prices, right, then, you know, we probably might get some support here at the 2-day moving average at $2.45. You got a lot of moving averages here, right? If I just zoom in here real quick on moving averages, almost all your moving averages are at the low $2 level here, like starting at $2.48 down to like $2.38. That could be a good target zone if you're a moving average trader and you're just using your moving averages here as your technical analysis. This could be a good area to buy XRP if it even gets down to that level. Okay. I see Simon Hose in the chat. You said you might rotate Bitcoin for Ethereum. I think a lot of people are starting to do that. We're starting to see people who made their gains with Bitcoin start going into the altcoins, and they're starting with the high market, more trustworthy altcoins that have been around for a while. The dino coins, as some people might say. There's people that are going into Ethereum and XRP, Cardano, and they're going into like even like Bitcoin Cash and did I say Solana? Yeah, they're also going into Solana as well. But then they'll start taking some bets on some of the more riskier coins, like, you know, Sui and Pudgy Penguins, Kronos and ZBCM, which we're going to be talking about after this. So yeah, doesn't surprise me that you're willing to do that with the rotation here, because that's what some of the big monies are doing. The big money guys, like Tom Lee on Wall Street, he's starting up, or he already started up a fund, and he's buying as much Ethereum as he possibly can and creating like an Ethereum treasury. And they're trying to do the same thing that MicroStrategy did with Bitcoin. They're trying to do that with Ethereum right now. So that might be a good bet for you getting into Ethereum right now. And then Ava is asking me about HBAR. Will HBAR hit 17 cents again? You want to stock up? We'll take a look at HBAR. Appreciate that request. We'll look at that after Kronos and ZBCN here. And then let's see. Ozzy, the Crypto Goats, told me to watch the Deadpool video. Okay, I'll take a look at that when I get a chance. Yeah. And then you said maybe a double bottom forming on what asset? Can't remember. Oh, you want me to take a look at Fartcoin? Okay, we'll take a look at Fartcoin, and we'll try to see if there's a double bottom forming on Fartcoin. All right, let's see. Guys, don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't already. And double tap the screen for my TikTok guys. Appreciate that. That's how you send the likes out. All right. Moving on to Kronos. Kronos currently trading at 14 cents, almost 14.5 cents, up 3.37% today. We're on the daily time frame here. Looks like Kronos already created its higher low. So it looks like a lot of these altcoins, a lot of these cryptocurrencies, their charts are showing like pretty much the same thing. Where we created a low here on Saturday this weekend. I think because there was uncertainty about, you know, tariffs on India. Was there anything else in the news? I can't really think there was anything else. Oh, and then we also, I don't know, we had a bad jobs report on Friday, so I think the markets kind of realized that, hey, we got a bad jobs report, but that just means that the Federal Reserve will most likely lower interest rates. So that's actually kind of a good thing. And I think the markets kind of took it and ran with it on Monday and Tuesday. And now here we are, you know, Kronos is almost back to where the highs that it made here in July. Let's see, we got as high as almost 15 cents. Yeah, we got as high as 15 cents on July 29th. So do I need to draw a Fibonacci for you? Oh, wait, I already did. I already got a Fibonacci here. So yeah, we came down. Looks like we came down to the golden pocket. So that, you know, this Fibonacci stuff is pretty important, guys, because usually when you get a pullback, you usually get a pullback normally to the 0.618, almost all the time. Unless the asset is really strong, you only get a shallow pullback to like the point, you know, 786 retracement. But we came down to this 0.618 retracement, which is normal and healthy. Okay. We came down to like 12 cents, 0.0122 pennies, which is a little bit below the Fibonacci. So it's not exact. It's not going to be like an exact science. It just gives you like a zone to be looking for. And we came down to that zone. And now it looks like we're pulling ourselves back up and trying to retest where we were back here on July for Kronos. So Kronos is looking just fine, in my opinion here. Clearly above all the moving averages here. Above all this previous chart work here. I don't know if I need to keep this 11.5 cent level here, but I can always clean things up a little bit later. But if Kronos is going to continue doing what it's doing and go to higher prices, you got the 1272 Fib extension saying this thing can get up to like almost 17 cents, 0.168 pennies to be exact. And then you got the 1618 saying this thing can get up to like 19 cents here. I'm not going to say when exactly that's going to happen, but maybe later on in 2025 here. And what I'll do next here is I'll turn on, now that I'm zooming out and gathering some more data, I'll turn on the VRVP, see what the VRVP has to say. And yeah, you got, you know, high volume node here, almost at like 19 cents. So like once we get to like 18 cents, 19 cents, I think that's a good area to start taking profit on your Kronos, okay? But if Kronos wants to be even more bullish, we got the 2618 saying that this thing can get up to like 26 cents, and then the 3618 at 33 cents. And by God, if this thing gets up to 33 cents, you doubled your money on this asset. You should be clicking the sell button, or considering clicking the sell button. You don't have to sell all of it, but maybe sell some of it so you can book in those profits. Okay. But yeah, that's Kronos in a nutshell. I don't think I really need to get into downside targets here. Get rid of VRVP for now. I still think 11.5 cents is a very crucial level to stay above, to the downside here. Okay, that's your 0.5 retracement. But I think Kronos is going to do quite fine here. Just keep doing what you're doing, and you'll be all right. All right, moving on from Kronos to ZBCN. So I do have previous chart work here with ZBCN. I have a previous Fibonacci analysis. And ZBCN kind of gave people scared during the end of June, going into the beginning of July, when we saw this thing get down to the 50-day moving average and then go a little bit below that. I think I made a video like, hey, if this thing continues going lower, we might get some support off the 200-day moving average. But I think after I made that video, this thing was like, nope, let's go ahead and go up to higher prices here. And it tried that, got rejected off the 0.382, came right back down to retest the 50-day moving average. Then we came right back up to go to a higher high at the 0.5 retracement. And this thing is just respecting the TA and respecting the fib levels here. We're now currently trying to get up to this 0.786 retracement, which is at the 60,100 level. We came up as high today as 58,870. So yeah, we're trying for it. We're trying to get up to that 60,000 level. Like we also did here on Thursday as well. We came up to like 59,500. So you're probably gonna, you know, if you're trying to still buy ZBCN, you're gonna try to buy near the golden pocket. And if you're day trading it, you can sell that 786 retracement. But you're trying to push past that. If you're not day trading it, you're gonna swing trade it, and then we're gonna probably have some resistance at that 71,300 level, which is where we got up to back here in May, where we saw this thing trading as high as 71,300. And if you get past all these levels, right, and you make it back to where you were in May, then the next level above us is going to be that 1618 at 103,456. But I feel like I need to add in the 127 too, because that's also a pretty crucial level to have here. Go into settings, style, coordinate, yep. We want the 127. Thank you, thank you. So, yeah. Make it past 71,300, and then you might get some resistance. You might get someone that wants to sell at 85,400 on ZBCN, and then you might get some more resistance at the 103,000 if you can even get up to that level here. But if you get up to that level, you're doubling your money once again on this asset, and you should consider clicking that sell button. Hey, Road Dog's in the chat. Good to see you in the live stream here, Road Dog. We've been live for about like 40 minutes here. We're just going over some people's requests here, and then I'm gonna try to do some live trading. I'm already in a few trades here. I'm gonna trade on Pudgy Penguins, Grass, and AI16Z. I mean, I guess we could take a look at those trades right now, see how they're doing. I currently use Mexi Exchange because they got some of the lowest fees possible. I think Mexi said like I saved like $80 in fees last month because they weren't charging me anything for fees. So like, I mean, this is a good crypto exchange to get onto if you guys can get into it. And I'm just waiting for them to give me like a affiliate code so I can start sending people their way, and you know. But yeah, one of the best exchanges in the game, Mexi Exchange. And right now, like you can see, I'm on a trade on Grass. I entered these trades this morning because I liked what I saw on the charts, especially after we got a beat down the last couple of weeks, and also we had a bad weekend. And I was just waiting for the news, Road Dog. I don't know if you know this, Road Dog, but we actually had some clarification about tariffs here. Trump raised the tariffs on India to 50%. Some people were wondering if it was going to be like 100% or more. But now we finally got that number. And this news came out at 10 o'clock in the morning. This is off of CNBC's website. And that's literally, like, I watched the charts. And that's literally when Bitcoin started catching bids. I think once we got that clarification about India and what the tariffs were going to be, we ended up moving up here on the price of Bitcoin. And right now, you know, my Grass trade looks like I'm down 7% on it. AI16Z was one of the first trades I did this morning, and that one is up 19%. Let me just fix my Wi-Fi here on my TikTok. Road Dog, I'm doing a live stream on TikTok and YouTube at the same time here. And it's good to see that I got people on both streams here asking for requests. But yeah, just giving you guys a preview of my trades here. Looks like AI16Z is my best trade so far. Pudgy Penguins up 8.8%. And those are some long-term, kind of like, I plan on being on these day trades for a few days here. Kind of like long-term day trading, or maybe swing trading, short-term swing trading. But I'm only using 20x leverage on these trades, and I only put up like $20 as margin on each of these trades because I only plan on losing about $20, which is like 1% of my trading account. So that's how I do it. And hopefully these trades stay in the green and continue making me money. All right, moving on from ZBCN, we gotta look at we'll look at Fartcoin and then HBAR. See how Farcoin's doing. And then after I do Farcoin, I'll do a shout out to Road Dog, because he's always giving me shout outs here. But let me do this request first, and then we'll do the shout out. All right, so here we have Farcoin currently trading at 95 cents, and hopefully this isn't too much of a mess here on the charts here. But I do have a Fibonacci analysis. I might redraw this. Let me just go ahead and yeah, I'm gonna get rid of this for now. And we're just gonna look at the moving averages as of now. So right now you can see that Farcoin trying to stay above the 200-day moving average, that red line here. That red line's at 91 cents. If we lose that, it could be, you know, bloody for Farcoin. We might come down to lower levels here, like what we were trading at, near sideways trading at back here in March when we were trading at like 50 cents. As I start to zoom out some more, okay, I'll turn on the VRVP as we get this data, and you'll see that if Farcoin, right, if we lose that 200-day moving average at 91 cents, there's a big gap in the VRVP, and the next high volume node below us is at 56 cents. Okay, that could be where Farcoin goes down if we're not able to hold the levels that we're at right now. Okay, and then even further down below that, you got the POC sitting at about 32 cents. This blue line. Okay, that could be where Farcoin goes if I don't know, something tragic happens to the markets, or something tragic happens to this particular coin. Those are your downside targets, just using the VRVP here. All right. But yeah, let me I guess I'll just stick to the moving average. I don't really need to do Fibonacci for now. 50-day moving average right above you at $1.19. That could be a first take profit target. And then the 21 EMA at $1.24. So you got to take profit target at $1.20, $1.24 maybe. And now I'll go ahead and do that Fibonacci from start from here, $1.69 down to this swing low below us at 80 cents. Measuring from like back here in June 22nd when we got down to like 79 cents. And now this is the fib levels that we're looking for. So we clearly had a pretty significant pullback here towards the end of July here on Farcoin. And we just went through all the fib levels here, and we went through the 0.236 retracement here. So, you know, Farcoin is pretty much holding on to dear life right now. This 200-day moving average is like the only saving grace, because after that, I mean, I don't know what's going to prevent Farcoin from going to lower prices here. Okay? But if Farcoin can start moving its way back up to higher prices here, then like I said, you know, we have the moving average at $1.19, which is confluent with the 0.5 retracement at $1.24 here. So I think this is your first take profit target. If you're using Fibonacci, like $1.14 to the $1.24 area. But a normal retracement would pull us back to the golden pocket here at $1.35, $1.38. That would be second take profit target if you're day trading Farcoin. Then you got, of course, you got the 0.786 retracement at $1.50. But if you're gonna do a third take profit target, then I would say $1.69, which is where you're at back here. What, 2 weeks ago? And I'm not even going to get into the fib extension levels here, because let's just see how we do. Can we actually get a balance off the 200-day moving average? I do like the fact that you have some on the daily time frame here. You do have some wicks. All right, you don't have any closes, but you're wicking down to the 200-day and then getting a bounce off of it. Same thing with today. You got a wick down, so this buying pressure here is showing up on the chart for Farcoin. That's good to see. Just stay away from that 200-day moving average, okay? And then try to catch those bids. And I think that's going to be it for Farcoin. I don't think do I really need to look at the oscillators? Yeah, you got a red dot that came in on Thursday, July 24th. You're just waiting for a green buy dot to show up on the daily time frame here on Market Cipher B. And when you see that green dot, then you might feel a little bit more confident actually getting into a long trade here on Farcoin. MACD showing less selling pressure. Okay, so you could front run that market cipher B and buy now and just keep your stop loss tight. If I was gonna get into Farcoin, I would probably put the stop loss right below you know, the candle wick lows here on August 1st. Maybe like 84 cents as a stop loss. If you want to keep it really loose, then even below that stop, even below that candle wick low here on June 22nd at 79 or 78 cents. And by God, if this thing can't hold 78 cents, then there's something wrong with Farcoin. You don't want to stick around for that. All right, let's see. Thank you, Road Dog. Appreciate the comments and compliments. And you like the 5 moving average strategy? I do too. Yep. I got the 21, the 50, the 100, and the 200. I kind of only it's like four moving averages, but yeah, definitely on the smaller time frames. I like using those moving averages because it seems like I'm not the only one that pays attention to those moving averages, and there's other traders there that are looking at it and they're putting in their buys and sells based on those moving averages. All right, and John 3:16 says you're on the beach at Lake Superior. Nice, nice, very nice. And you're also listening and watching my live stream. I appreciate that. All right, moving on from Farcoin to H bar, right? We didn't look at H bar. We gotta look at that one. And then I gotta give up my shout out. My shout out to Road Dog. Road Dog Crypto is another crypto YouTuber, right? And he's been in the game for a while. He knows how to read charts very well. He's big on Fibonacci, just like myself. And he's got about 1.9 thousand subscribers. Let's see if we can get him up to 2,000 subscribers. I appreciate you guys if you can check out Road Dog's channel here. Give him a view and a subscribe. Definitely subscribe to his channel. He's got good music, kind of like what I'm trying to do in my live streams here. Sometimes I like his music a little bit better. I think he makes his own music too. But yeah, Road Dog, he usually goes live at nighttime. If you're a nighttime guy, yeah, see there's a little party stream there. But yeah, he's got some really good stuff. Really good setup, and he knows his stuff, knows his charts, knows how to read the charts. Okay. So give Road Dog a like, a subscribe, a follow, all that good stuff. All right, back to H bar. You guys out there, excuse me. Somebody got me sick during vacation. And I guess I was around too many people. But just, you know, traveling around, you're just gonna be around people. Maybe, you know, somebody on the ferry or something got me sick. Anyways, looking at H bar currently trading at 24.5 cents, up 2.49% today. Let's see. We got some previous chart work here. I have an old fib here that I pulled from like 30 cents, which is where we topped off here on July 27th. And I pulled this fib all the way down to like 12.5 cents, which I think is the low on June 22nd. And so these are my fib levels. And you can see that we got the normal pullback. We actually came down to the 618 at 23.5 cents. We actually got as low, let's see, we got as low as 22.5 cents. Okay. I think you're doing just fine with H bar. Don't go lower than what the lows were here back on August 2nd. Okay, but if you decide that you want to come down a little bit lower, don't be surprised if the thing does come down to the 0.5 retracement at 21.5 cents. More likely, you might even get a bounce off the 2-day moving average at 20.5 cents, which is like smack dab in the middle of the 0.382 and the 0.5 retracement. This zone. Okay, so I just think, you know, if you don't know how to use Fibonacci or draw it out correctly, you can still, you know, fall back and lean on that 200-day moving average sitting at 20.5 cents. I think everybody knows how to, or most people know how to use moving averages and set it up on their chart. So 200-day moving average on H-bar could be a good buy zone if this thing actually does come down to that that price, okay? But if it doesn't and we start going up, right, we gotta reclaim that 0.786 retracement at 26.5 cents here, which is not too far off. It's only about a couple of pennies. And then let's see if we can get back up to the 30-cent level like we did here in July. And then I think your first take profit target is going to be 1272 at 35 cents. Okay, we'll see if we can do that. And then you got the 1618 at 41 cents. And I think there's some confluence there. Yeah, back here in January, we were definitely trading at 35 cents. So, you know, people that bought in January, you have to think about it for a second, guys. Like, if you bought in January and you bought this thing at 35, 38 cents, and you've stomached all this, you know, pain over the last, you know, 7 or 8 months here, and then you see this thing get right back to where you bought it back at in January at 35, 38 cents, wouldn't you be like, all right, I had enough of this. Obviously, that was a bad trade or a bad investment. I'm just gonna break even. I'm not gonna sell at a loss, but I'm gonna break even at 35, 38 cents. I think you would do the same thing too if you experience that kind of trouble with your investments. So don't be surprised if the people in January start selling at 35, 38 cents when this thing does get up to that level. And I think the 1272 is saying that it agrees that that's going to be a good level to sell. So that should be your first take profit target. And then if you get past, you know, those people that are clicking the sell button and breaking even, yeah, you got the 1618 at 41 cents. And has H-bar been higher than that? I gotta zoom out some more. I don't. Oh wait, back in 2022, maybe 2021. This thing was trading at like 45 cents and got as high as September at like 57 cents. I mean, you're really getting a little bit greedy in my opinion if you get up to those levels there and you haven't sold anything. I would start taking profits at 35 cents and 41 cents, but this thing does get up to like 60 cents or 55 cents, then yeah, I would definitely click the sell button there too. Alright, let's see what my TikTok guys are saying here. A little bit quiet here on TikTok, but that's okay. Sometimes you guys are keeping busy on TikTok, and other days you guys kind of give me a break, and that's okay. I do have some coins I want to look at myself besides the requests here. Grizzly Man is saying Bitcoin retraced 123k soon. I'm long at 113. Entry 25 contracts. Okay, are you doing day trading, leverage trading? And are you doing that with the CME? Because you said contracts, so that makes me think like you're doing CME contracts. And then Montero 28 asked me, why do you have the default fib? I don't know what you mean by that. I just do normal fibs. Okay. When I do the Fibonacci, I even did a video on how to do the Fibonacci. You can find that on TikTok. If you dig through my TikTok videos, you'll see my Fibonacci video there. Or you can just type in Damien Fibonacci. Maybe it'll come up. But I usually draw the fib from like top to bottom. Because when I do top to bottom, then it gives me my fib extensions to the upside here. If I'm like currently long in the asset. Now, if I want to, you know, do a fib and I want to find out like short selling targets, like if I'm shorting an asset, then I'll measure, you know, from the bottom to the top, okay? And then it gives me my fib extensions to the downside here, okay? Like the 1272 is now below us at like 4 cents, and the 1618 is below us at like -5 cents. Okay, so that's how I draw up my fibs. And then if you want to know like what levels I use these levels: 0.382, the 236, the 0.5, the 618. I also use the 0.65, which sometimes, you know, you gotta turn it on. Sometimes it's not turned on for you, and I just turn it on and I put it as orange. You know, you got all these fib levels here, and then, you know, fib extensions. I use the 1272, 1618, and I think TradingView defaults and gives you 2618 and 3618 as fib extensions as well. And that's normally how I do it. I don't know if that answers your question there. I guess we're kind of doing like a Q&A now till we get another request. And then I think I'm gonna look at AI16Z, which is one of my favorite trades that I'm doing pretty well this morning. Let's see. What is John 316 saying? I ain't clicking no sell until Kronos hits 50 cents. All right. 500,000 Kronos. Wow. All right. And then Road Dog says, can't wait for Kronos to hit 50 cents and higher. All right. You guys really love Kronos. What is Kronos? I forgot what we just looked at Kronos, but like what is it trading at right now? I think it was at like 14 cents, right? Yeah, it's still at 14 cents. So you guys gonna try to click the sell button when it gets to 50 cents? I mean, that's above my 3618. 33 cents. You're pushing your luck on that fib using just this Fibonacci analysis. But has Kronos been at 50 cents? Yeah, it did. Yeah, we saw Kronos at like 70 cents back in 2021. Almost $1 maybe? In November of 2021, 91 cents, 93 cents is what I'm seeing. Wow. Okay. But I just don't know, like, are these cryptos actually going to get back to where they were, their all-time highs in the previous cycle? Because now there's even more cryptocurrencies. Like, Pudgy Penguins is stealing the show in the spotlight. All that money is going into Pudgy Penguins and these other coins, like Peanut the Squirrel coins, these other meme coins. You have Trump coin and stuff like that. Is that going to suck away the possible liquidity that could go into Kronos? Will Kronos actually get back up to 90 cents? I don't know. There's a lot of competition now. These coins need to start showing that they're able to make money. And, you know, Pudgy Penguins actually has like an online merchandise store. You can buy Pudgy Penguin clothing and stuff like that. And they're a Solana validator. I don't know what Kronos does to make money, but maybe you can tell me in the comments here in the live chat, what does Kronos do to make money? Because they got to compete against that. I know Trump coin doesn't have anything like that, but they could probably start doing merchandise where they start selling Trump merchandise with Trump coin. So that you got to compete against that too. Kronos has credit cards and DeFi. Okay. See, there's so many assets out there that I gotta keep up with. I don't know which ones does what, which one's making money. I only know the ones that I know, and I know that they're making money, and that's why I get involved with them. But let's move on to the live trading here. Let's see how the trades are doing here. My grass long is still in the red. Maybe I chose a bad price here, but you know, I see I got in at 67 cents on grass. I can get liquidated at 64 cents if it does go down to that price. AI16Z was one of the first trades I went in this morning, and I was able to get in while, you know, before the market started running up. I got in at 12 cents here. We're currently trading a little bit above 12 at 0.122 pennies here. And I am up 18% on that trade. Pudgy Penguins, I got in on that trade as well. That one's in the green, doing pretty well so far. Which one do I want to look at first? I want to look at AI16Z, so let's take a look at AI16Z. So when I'm day trading, I usually stick to the 1 hour time frame. First, I look at how things are on the daily time frame, but then when I zoom in and I'm actually about to enter a trade, you know, I like to look at the 1 hour time frame. So that's what we're looking at right now on Pudgy Penguins. And you can see there's my buy right there, right? I bought at 12 cents. So I bought after I saw all this negative price action over the last few hours. Let me see if I can zoom in the chart here a little bit. Okay. So we had like a kind of like a little bull flag here in the 1 hour time frame, where we topped out early this morning at 3 o'clock in the morning at like 0.124 pennies on AI16Z. And then we kind of had like a bad morning, you know, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6, 7, 8. This is like all 1 hour candles here. And I came in and bought around like 10 o'clock in the morning. After we got that news about India's tariff situation, once we got some clarification as like how bad the tariffs were going to be, that seems to be when the market decided to, you know, go for a run and start putting money into the system here. So I almost, you know, caught the lows for the day, I guess. We got as low as 0.1193 pennies, and I came in at 0.1209 pennies. You can see my stop loss is right here at 0.116 pennies, okay? I only put $20 in this trade, so if this thing, you know, stops me out, I'm only going to lose 20 bucks, okay? But if this thing plays out, I plan on being in this trade for a while, especially if, you know, I think I caught the bottom. Let me just show you why, guys, I think I caught the bottom on AI16Z. I'm going to go into daily time frame here. I'm just going to zoom out as best as I can. And just look at what this chart looks like. Obviously, AI16Z had better days here in January when this thing was at, you know, as high as like almost $1 or $2. Okay? Yeah, trading at like $1.80, $2. Now this thing is at like 12 cents. Come on, come on. And then look at this, right? Your lowest low for the year, the yearly low is at 10 pennies roughly, 0.098 pennies, okay? And then we came down over here towards the end of July, we came down to like 0.011 pennies. All right, I don't know if it get any lower than that. If it does, it would just be a double bottom. But right now, you got like almost a higher low. I don't think this thing can go any lower. Like it's that low is at 0.113 pennies, and I came in at 0.12 pennies. My stop loss is like 0.11 pennies. So I think this is a very good trade to get into right now. I think this is going to be my winning trade for this month. Like one of my best winning trades. And I'll just go into, let's get into where my take profit is, okay? So my take profit is going to be, right now it's at 20 cents. I can always move this up if I need to, if I want to stay in the trade longer. But 20 cents is where we were trading at back here on July 22nd. We were at like 21 cents. So I think that's a good... I'm trying to catch all of this right here. If I can get this nice juicy move to the upside here. All I'm doing is I'm trading this thing from 12 cents to 20 cents. But if I'm able to do that, right? Let's go into my stop loss take profit target. See how much money I'll actually make on the trade with AI16Z. So my stop loss, right? At 11 cents, 11.5 cents, I will only lose $16. I put like $20 into in margin, and I'm only gonna lose $16 if I lose out on the trade. But my take profit's at 20 cents, and I'll make $259, and I'll have a P&L of about 1,300% because I'm using 20x leverage. Yeah, I don't know if it gets any better than that, Road Dog. But if you know if this thing does stop me out and goes to lower prices, then I'll try to throw my hat in the ring again. Maybe we just got to do it at lower prices. But I see it as a very juicy, very juicy P&L, very juicy risk reward ratio. Yeah. Same thing with grass. You know, I looked at grass I think grass is also a possible big winner as well. Even though I'm currently, down in the trade, let's take a look at grass, right? On the daily time frame here, we're now looking at grass. And what do we got here? All right, as I start to zoom out, look at this thing. This thing started trading at like 60 cents back in October of last year. Okay. And right now we're trading at the same price at like 67 cents. This thing got as high as like $3.97 in November of last year. Obviously, we've been making lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower, and of course lower lows since then on the daily time frame. But I mean, is this the bottom? Could I be catching the bottom on this asset, this crypto here? I decided to throw my hat in the ring on this one. I'm using 20x leverage. Okay. Let's go back into I basically got in at 67 pennies here. But yeah, let's go down here. Okay, so grass, right? I got in at 67 pennies, 0.6799 pennies. We're trading below that right now, but that's whatever. You can't be perfect, right? But then going into the take profit stop loss, right? So, my average entry is at 67.99. I could get liquidated at 64.86. Okay. Right now, my stop loss is set at 0.652, so I'll lose 25 bucks on this trade. I think I put like $30 of margin in this thing. So I'm only gonna, I'm only putting $30 in this trade, but I'm trying to stick with it. Where if this, asset gets back to $1, I'll make 288 bucks, and I'll have a P&L of 941% on a 20x long. And could this thing get back up to $1? Let's go back into the daily time frame here. Back to the charts. I mean, we took a steep dive out of nowhere on July 27th. This thing was trading at like 96 cents. Only like, what, a week ago, 2 weeks ago? I think it could get back to $1, right? If this is the bottom. I don't know. If it's not the bottom, I'm only going to lose $25. But we got the sideways trading action here back in July. This thing was at $1 last month. So I think I can make some money being in that trade. And the beautiful thing is that, I'm using like a $2,000 trading account. If I feel like this is the bottom and I start getting some confirmation, if we start making like higher lows here, I can throw in another $25 and see if this thing, continues on its way to $1. And I just adding to my longs here, adding to my position. But I really think, this is a very low risk, high reward situation here on grass. Might be worth taking a look at here. Okay. Also, I got the MACD showing that the selling pressure is starting to die down. Okay. So we'll see. We'll see. I like seeing that the selling pressure is dying down on the MACD. And what's another win? Oh, I got into Pudgy Penguins as well. All right, let me just go back to my overall trades here. Pudgy Penguins, right? That one is actually, I'm in the green on that trade. Let's look at the take profit stop loss on that one. So Pudgy Penguins, I got in at 0.0337 pennies. Right now it's at 0.034 pennies. I'm in the green right now. I could get liquidated if it goes down to 0.032 pennies. I only put like $20 in this trade, but my stop loss says that I will only lose $14 if it goes down and I get hit on my stop. I'm using 20x leverage long on this one as well. And my take profit is 0.045 pennies. I'll make $130 on this trade. 669% on that P&L if it does play out that way. And just looking at the chart for oh wait, no, I gotta go actually click on Pudgy Penguins, my bad. And just looking at the chart for Pudgy Penguins, okay, yeah, so my sell, like my take profit's like 4.5 cents, which is, and this thing came out, Pudgy Penguin topped out at like 0.046 pennies, or a little bit higher than 4.5 pennies. So I got my take profit there. I don't know if it's gonna hit, but if this thing is gonna continue being bullish, you know, I think that is gonna hit, and I'll make like $150 on my profit, and I only lose like $14 if we lose this. I put my stop loss. What did I put? Like just below the wick here, I believe. Like ideally, I want the stop loss to be like 0.03 pennies or 31 pennies. Right now, my stop loss is at 0.0325 pennies. So it's a little bit tight stop loss. But that's okay, because if I keep it tight, I won't lose too much money. And I can always come back in and try again. You know, this thing, if Pudgy Penguins decides to go to low prices here, I think we could come down to the 50-day moving average. Maybe I try throwing my hat in the ring again on the 50-day moving average. See if that you know, if that will stick. Yeah, I agree with you, Medina. Pudgy Penguin does seem like it's gonna be a blue chip meme coin. Seems like it's gonna, because they're making money, they're gonna be around for a while, in my opinion. Yeah, you know, that's the crazy thing about some of these cryptos is you think you caught the dip, you think you caught the bottom, it goes down 90%, and you're like, okay, well, it went down 90%, this must be the bottom, and then it goes down another 90% from where you bought it at. And that is insane. That's the thing that can throw people off. That happened to me with, I tried buying spot bags on this coin called AIT Protocol. I bought it at like 6 cents, thinking that I caught the bottom because this thing was trading at $1. And what did it do? It went from 6 cents down to like 1 cent. It went down like almost another 90%. I thought I caught the dip after it dropped down 90%, and then it went down another 90%. So that's the crazy thing about these altcoins, these low market cap crypto coins, is that they trade almost like penny stocks. So if you know how to trade penny stocks, you're already used to, like, you know, the craziness of, like, you know, things can go down 90% after they already went down 90%. And Road Dog likes my risk management. Thank you, Road Dog. That's the only way to stay alive in this game. If you don't have good risk management, you're gonna lose a lot of money. I met a guy a few months ago. He told me he had like an $80,000 trading account, and he told me there's only like $100 left in that account. And you know, I told him about, well, have you ever used a stop loss? And he said no one ever told him about using stop losses. So he had an $80,000 trading account, and he blew it up, not knowing what a stop loss was or how to actually put a stop loss in. And I'll tell you what, that's exactly how you lose $80,000. Jeez, I mean, you could lose $1 million if you don't know how to use a stop loss, and you're doing leverage trading. Jeez. Eventually, over time, you'll lose all that money if you don't use stop losses. Yep. But yeah, risk management. I try my best, because that's the only way you're gonna be successful in trading, is risk management. I think my biggest problem when I first started trading was I didn't know how much of a position, how much margin to use. Like, I didn't know what the numbers were, what made sense. One of the biggest thing I think for risk management is just, you know, don't risk more than 1% of your account. So, you know, it doesn't matter what leverage you use. You want to make sure that your stop loss is not going to eat if you lose on your trade, you want to make sure you're not going to lose 1% of your account. Because you can do that like 99 more times. You can do that 100 times before you actually blow up your account. And what is the likelihood that you're going to enter 100 trades in a row and just continue to lose? Because if you do, then maybe you're over trading at that point. You might want to like take a day off or a week off. But statistically, you should at least get lucky on one of those trades. Even if you're a bad trader, only risking 1% of your account is probably the best thing to do for most people. Let's see. I got some guys in TikTok here asking me questions. So, 5K runner saying 80,000 now. That's how you blow up an account. Yeah. Florida in here. So 100, no more than 10. Yeah. When I do my stop losses, I don't want to risk more than 1% of my account. So, you know, my trading account on Mexi, I got like a couple of grand in there. I don't want to risk more than $20 on any one trade. And I can stay in the game if I'm only risking 20 bucks. Right? But, you know, you see my trades, like I'm risking 20 bucks, but like my take profits, if things go my way, I'm making like $150, $300 on some of these trades. Let's look at the, you know, grass again. You know, my take profit is going to get me 288 bucks if it goes back up to $1. And then let's see, on AI16Z, my take profit is going to give me like another 250 bucks. So yeah, I'm risking 20 bucks to make 200 bucks. I think anybody would love to take that trade. Pudgy Penguins, same thing. You know, I'm risking, you know, $14 to try and make $130. So we'll see if they stay, you know, if they play out that way. The other one that I didn't really get a good entry, I guess, is grass, because I'm still a little bit in the red on grass. But these are trades that I plan on being in the next few days, towards the end of this week. I'm not in a rush. I'm not trying to make money today, even though I kind of am making money today a little bit. I'm trying to stay in these trades because I know it's going to take a while for like AI16Z is not that popularly known as like XRP and Ethereum. You know, some of these people don't even know what the hell is grass, you know. People are starting to know what Pengu is. But money's going to go into those other altcoins first before they go into these coins. So like this is like long-term swing trading for me, I guess. Well, I should say this is like long-term day trading or short-term swing trading. Because I plan on being in these trades for like the rest of the week, maybe going into like next week, and we'll see how things go. And I can always add to these positions too as we monitor the markets here. Let's go back into let's go back into the assets. Let's see how AI16Z looks like on TradingView. So yeah, this is AI16Z on TradingView on the daily chart. You know, just possibly making a higher low after all this craziness in April and May. We lost all this progress only to come back down again. If the traders and investors that have been in this asset haven't been shooken out of their trades yet, I don't think there's going to be that much resistance to go to higher prices here. You know, we got the 200-day sitting at 26 cents. Let me go ahead and turn on that VRVP. You got the POC sitting at like 19 cents. Once you make it past 19, 20 cents. Now, remind you, I got my take profit at 20 cents. Okay. But if we can actually go past 20 cents and start heading to higher prices, you got a gap in the VRVP, and there's a little bit of resistance at 24 cents. But then you got the value area high sitting at like 29, 30 cents. I think that is going to be another good take profit target on AI16Z. So maybe I stay with my AI16Z. Maybe I make this a swing trade instead of a day trade. after catching the bottom like this. And maybe I just move my stop losses up and move my take profit to like 30 cents instead of 20 cents. See, Duality is in the live stream chat. And Trade Intuition has just joined. Okay. So we got Road Dogg and Trade Intuition. Good to see you guys. Come on board. We're currently talking about AI16Z right now. Because I was telling people about some of the day trades that I'm in. I just went into a day trade on AI16Z, Pudgy Penguins, and Grass. And I was showing my viewers my Mexi trades here. And I was just showing that, I think, Pudgy Penguin, I think AI16Z and Grass are at some very interesting levels right now to be long-term, I call it long-term day trading, or maybe short-term swing trading it. But I plan on being in these trades for like a week or two. And let me just go back to AI16Z here. Day trading it. So we saw like, AI16Z get down to like for the lows for the year. Like this entire 2020-25, this thing came down to like 9.098 pennies, roughly 10 pennies. And now we're currently trading at like 12 cents right now. Okay. And we had a recent low here at like 11 pennies. So this thing could be creating a higher low, and you can just put your stop loss right at like 11 cents. Right below this 0.113 penny level. Right now my stop loss is at 0.116. And I'm using 20x leverage. But I think this thing could get back to like where it was, what, a couple of weeks ago when it was at 20 cents. Yeah, we were at like 20 cents on July 20th. And then, this is what my my stop loss take profit looks like on AI16Z, right? Okay. If we just get back up to 20 cents, I'll make $259. And I'm only gonna lose 16 bucks if I get hit on my stop loss. And I'm using 20x leverage. So I think this could be a good trade. Might be worth copying this trade here. Oh, it looks like Pudgy Penguins is doing well already. Look at this. This thing is alright, so AI16Z is up 33%. Pudgy Penguins up 54%. This is what Mexi shows. I'm up 55%, 0 fees. So I love Mexi because there's like no fees. Mexi said that they saved me like $85 in fees in the month of July because they weren't charging me any fees to trade out of all the trading that I did last month. Can't beat 0 unless they start paying you to trade. But might be worth getting into Mexi. I'm waiting for Mexi to come on board and give me affiliate links so I can, refer you guys over there. But I guess you guys can go there right now and start trading on Mexi with AI16Z. But guys, let me give out a shout out to Trade Intuition since he's in the chat here. We already looked at Road Dogg. He's another good YouTuber to check out. Good on the charts, great music. And just like Road Dogg, Trade Intuition is also good on the charts. And he also has good music to listen to as well while you're looking at the charts here. Trade Intuition got a couple thousand subscribers. He actually went live earlier today. And he usually goes live between 12 to 2 p.m. Eastern time, Monday through Friday, and he goes live on the weekends at 4 p.m. Eastern time. But yeah, you gotta check out his videos. Give him a like and a subscribe. Go check out his channel, Trade Intuition. So I had a couple of YouTubers show up into my stream. I appreciate that. Sam says Uphold drives you crazy with the fees. Well, then you gotta go check out Mexi. I gotta go check out Mexi. Try to save. I don't think you can beat Zero, right? How do you beat Zero? Mexi's definitely trying to get more people to show up on their exchange, and they've been around for a while, and they got good volumes too. They always got new coins showing up. They're like one of the first exchanges to get a new coin when it shows up. All right, let's see. Let's see what my TikTok guys are saying here. Courage is asking me, do I trade crypto? Yes, I do. I just showed you one of the crypto exchanges I trade on. And I think that's it for comments here on TikTok. You guys are quiet today. So quiet. It looks like we got Jesse. And Jesse saying we got a trade intuition raid. Appreciate you guys coming on to the channel here. You guys have any particular requests? Any coins you want me to take a look at? I just showed my live trades here. I was looking at trying to get into Solana maybe, but I think I might have missed out on the I'll just wait for it to cool down a little bit before I might get into Solana later on tonight. Oh, let's take a look at virtuals, because I know we were looking at that with Road Dog's live stream last night. All right, let's see if my opinion is different or the same with Road Dogs. But right now we're looking at virtuals currently trading at $1.21. Currently up 2.7% today. And let me get rid of some of all this crowded noise here. The VRVP, we'll get rid of that for now. And I'll even take the moving averages off for now. So I pulled my fib on virtual from the $2.58 level, which is what we were trading at on May 27th. And I took that fib all the way down to 42 cents, which I believe is where we got as low on April 7th here on virtuals. And what we have here is the ultimate Fibonacci for this, past few months here, showing that we are now down at the 0.32 retracement. We lost the golden pocket. This was, I think, this was the heartbreaker for Road Dog, is that when we came up here, everything was looking pretty solid, and then we lost the 618 the 0.618 retracement at $1.75. We lost that level, and then we came on down, and then we lost another fib level, and now here we are struggling near the 0.382. If virtuals continues to struggle some more, we could come down to 93 cents. I think I remember Road Dog saying like 89 cents was the number he was looking at, but the number that I'm looking at based on my fib is like 93 cents. And I think that's where the moving averages might be. Let's see. No. Now we're below all the moving averages now. After I just turned them on. So this is tough to see, because virtuals has a lot of potential with the AI agent space. You can create your own AI agents using their coin, and this is very disconcerting. Not fun to watch. We do not want to go down to 93 cents here. Let me see if I go into the weekly time frame. Was it the weekly time frame that I saw something around that level there for the moving averages? No. 5-day maybe? 3-day? No. Nope. Just the Fibonacci level. Alright. 0.236. This could be a area of support for virtuals. Kind of confluent with some of the trading action back here in February. I think if I turn the VRVP, it shows a volume node there. And let me just get rid of this for now. We're gonna hide you for now, buddy. So there is there is a high volume node at 93 cents. Yeah. 93 cents could be where you get your last ditch, you know, desperate attempt to defend Virtual's protocol. Because I think after that, you really have to just, you're gonna have to call it is what it is, and it's just a losing trade, and you don't want to go lose any more money after 93 cents. You got some other high volume nodes at like 77 cents and down here at 56 cents, but do you really want to like continue losing money if you already have money in Virtuals? Probably not. Probably not. Looks like I got a request for Solana. Alexander wants to look at Solana. We'll look at Solana. We'll look at it early in the live stream, but we can look at it again. Sure, why not? But yeah, I mean, hopefully this is the bottom for Virtuals. And if it is, then, you know, we'd like to see it get back to the 618 retracement, which is a normal retracement level at $1.75 to like $1.82. Might want to consider day trading it. Put your stop loss tight. I think a lot of these cryptos are been beaten down significantly over the last couple of weeks here, and you could put in some tight stop losses. This one I probably put like $1.10 if I was day trading it and trying to ride this thing up to $1.75 for my take profit target. All right, moving on to Solana. So Solana currently trading at $168, up 2.6% today. And Solana is trying its best to stay above this 200-day moving average, sitting at $161. We actually kind of wicked right down to it earlier today. Got down to $161.15. I was considering getting into a day trade on Solana, especially if it came down to this 100-day moving average. If we lose the 200-day, we have the 100-day sitting at 151. That's where I was going to try to buy some Solana for a leverage trade with like 10x leverage or whatever, or you know, maybe a little bit more leverage than that. But Solana decided to cash some bids, you know, these past couple of days. I don't know if we're going to get down to that 100-day moving average, but that 100-day moving average is your downside target. Also, you got the 0.236 retracement at $142. That could be another downside target for Solana if we decide to go to lower prices here. But if we go to higher prices on Solana, then I have the 0.5 retracement at $195, right? That should be a take profit target if you're day trading it. If you're in it for the long term, or if you're swing trading it, then you're probably trying to get this. You're trying to push your trade up to the $225 level, where the 0.65 retracement is sitting at for Solana. Hopefully that gives you an idea. So some take profit targets. If you're in it for the longer term, longer term, then yeah, I think Solana could get up to $295, which it did back in January. And then you get the 1272 at $351 and the 1618 at $420. That'd be a nice number to get, right? 420. That could happen later on in 2025. I wouldn't say, you know, next week or next month, but $420. I think that's a possibility in 2025. And we'll just have to see, because I know there's a 4-year cycle, but some people say, oh, this time's different because we got ETFs now and better regulation and all that stuff. But, you know, super cycle, but like, you don't know what could happen next, you know, with the world. Do you really want to stick around for too long? I mean, I think you should make your money, and once you make your money, you should try to get out after you double or triple your money. You know, you don't want to stick around, you know, with, you know, Solana at $1,000. You don't want to like see Solana go to $1,000, not sell anything, and then what? China invades Taiwan, Russia, you know, decides to invade a country in NATO, and then like what, Iran actually has a bomb and they blow it up in Israel. Like, do you really want to stick around waiting for this super cycle to make you super money? Or how about just take your money, because you don't know what's going to happen the next day or the next week? You know, I think if you double or triple your money, you should click the sell button. But that's not financial advice. That's just my opinion. Maybe you want to stick it out, you know, but the longer you wait, the longer bad things can happen. Something could really scare the market, you know. You could get a bank that collapses and takes down the financial system. Do you really want to wait for that? Or even like in cryptocurrency world, one of these big exchanges could get hacked. You know, we had it Bybit get hacked, you know, earlier this year. What happens if Coinbase gets hacked? What happens if, like, you know, one of these other big American exchanges like Kraken gets hacked? Okay, that's gonna send a lot of fear in the market, and then that's gonna be when you're like, ah, damn it, I could have sold Solana for $1,000 and now it's back at 300. It's not gonna be a fun feeling. Let's see. Jesse says AIXBT by Virtuals on Base. Is that a request? And then we got Trade Intuition saying AVAX and BNB. Is that request? You guys are talking about all these coins here. I'm not sure if you're talking about them or if you want me to take a look at them as a request here. But I got Alexander saying he wants to look at Chainlink. And Florida in here says, do you need a VPN to get Mexi? Yes, you do. They do not like United States customers. So you have to get a VPN to show that you're not from the United States, so you can trade with them. All right. We'll look at AIXBT, and then we'll also look at Chainlink. Let's get right to it. AIXBT. I believe this is an AI coin. Haven't looked at this coin in a while. Yeah, I don't really have any previous chart work. This thing looks like it started trading on Binance Exchange in January. Got as high as like 99 cents, almost $1. And just like a lot of these other old coins, similar to like AI16Z, it saw its best days in January and it's never been able to get back to those levels again. Alright, so as we start to zoom in here on the daily chart, this thing is trading at 11 cents currently right now, almost 12 cents. I mean, the level that it's at right now is pretty significant level here, because you got some candlewick highs and lows, and you got some body candle closes, and I mean this is a really important level here, or the level that it's already at right now. We'll just call it 0.118 pennies for now. Looks like we kind of came down there on June 22nd to like 0.109 pennies. And then the next day we got a nice impulse candle up, and then we came back, retested it here in July 2nd. I think this is a very important support, price support and resistance area. Bet you if I turn on the VRVP, it probably agrees with that level being a significant level here. Alright, so the VRVP, actually the point of control right above us is at 13 cents, 0.134 pennies. That's another significant level. So that could be a take profit target if you're day trading this. It's only about a couple of pennies away, but you could throw on some, like, you know, 100x leverage and make it do some things for you. But yeah, to the downside, right? If we were to lose the level that we're at right now, at 11 pennies, you got the value area low sitting at like 0.097 pennies. That could be an even better area to buy this cryptocurrency. I'm gonna take away the moving averages because this looks like noise right now. I'm just gonna stick to the VRVP. Okay, going up to the upside though, if we get past that point of control at 13 cents, you got a gap in the VRVP, and you might get your significant resistance at like 17 pennies. Between 17 pennies and 19 pennies could be a take profit target 2. Okay, and then after that level, the volume starts to drop off some more, and then you got the value of your high sitting at 23 pennies. That could be a take profit target 3 for your AIXBT trade if you're gonna go long on this asset. And even if you're not doing leverage trading and you're spot bag trading this, you know, going from 11 cents, 12 cents up to like 23 cents, that's almost a double. You're gonna get a nice healthy double on your AIXBT. And you might just be catching the lows here. Could this possibly be higher lows with a double bottom compared to what you had here in June 22nd? I like what I see for a long here, and you just put your stop loss strategically. You can put your stop loss at like 10.5 cents. Hopefully it doesn't hit, but if it does, maybe you got to come down a little bit lower to like, you know, the value area low at 9.5 cents and try to re-engage your long again. See if you can catch this bottom. But yeah, this doesn't look too bad for a long setup here. Oh, we got Porky in the chat. Did I get the trifecta today? I got Porky, Road Dog, Trade Intuition. Did I get all? I think I got all 3 of you guys today. Another crypto YouTubers in the chat here. Trying to see if BC Port Corp came in because I know he has a YouTube channel, but he didn't come in yet. But yeah, let's look at Porky's channel here. This is another crypto YouTuber, and he's trying to make his presence known on TikTok, so you guys might want to check him out. He goes by the same name, Porky Flounder 65. And Porky, another great YouTuber. Doesn't really have music playing like I do, but that's fine. I know some people they just don't want to listen to music, and this might be your guy if you just want to stick to the charts and not have music playing in the background. But he's always going live every night. He's a California guy, so he goes live from like 9 p.m. Eastern time, so like 12 or 1 o'clock, somewhere around those time slots. And he's also pumping out the short videos. You know, if you don't have that much time, you just want to get right to it. You know, it looks like he just did a video here on Sui. He has a video here about $150,000 Bitcoin. A whale that just longed 40x longed on Bitcoin. So, and he also talks about stocks as well. He does stocks and crypto. It all depends on what his viewers are requesting during his live streams here. But Porky, oh my god, I love Porky because he's always making me laugh. And he doesn't even try to be funny, and he's still funny. But yeah, you gotta check out Porky. He's also on TikTok as well. Let me see if I can give him a, because I gotta help you guys out here on TikTok. Guys, if you get a chance, check out Porky Flounder on TikTok. And he goes by alright, let's see. Hopefully that fixes my stream there for my YouTube guys. Looks like we had a little issue there with my VP. I think I had to shut it off to get it work again. Yeah, I just had a little stream issue there. I noticed things froze for my YouTube guys. I think my VPN messed things up. I just turned the VPN off to try to get the stream back up and running again. I hate it when it does that. But I don't know what you guys saw or missed here. But I was just saying, Porky likes to make fun of me with my preference in Latina woman, and That's because I dated one for like 4 years, and I kind of got addicted to that. But you know, I'll be with it, whoever is good for me. But I do like my preferences with dating Latina girls. All right, I think that's enough of that. Yeah, I think we'll just look at AVAX. Was there another request besides AVAX? Let's see. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with the JVAX. And then Orlando wants to look at Mavia. All right, let me write that down. Mavia. All right. AVAX Avalanche currently trading at $22.19. Let me get rid of the VP for now. I will turn on the moving averages. I think AVAX is just doing steady as she goes, trying to get above this 200-day moving average and actually show that it can use it as support rather than resistance. Right now, it's acting as resistance. This 200-day moving average is sitting at $22.27. Come on, AVAX, just show us that you can do it. Get us above that level there. $22 and well, the $22 level is kind of it is a 618 retracement, and that is probably why we're gonna hang out here for a little bit until we can get back up to like $24, which is your 786 retracement. Then of course we want to see if we can get back up to $26 like we did here in July. But your downside targets, if this thing is going to come down to the downside, you got the 100-day moving average sitting at $20.71. That's like smack dab in the middle between the 0.382 and the 0.5 retracement. I think, you know, if this thing starts losing its momentum here again, I think we will come and revisit that 100-day moving average, see if we can get another back test and get some support over there so we can get a bounce to higher prices. If we lose that level, then it could be game over for Avalanche as we go down to lower prices, and then you might have to actually see that 0.236 retracement. But man, if it does that, like that's that would be very, very disconcerting to see. Okay, because you know that's pretty much near the lows for the year. The lows for the year, this thing came as low as well, it had almost like a triple bottom, but the low back in June was at like $15.62. So, I mean, if we have to do that, we have to do that. If it's gonna do that, it's gonna do that. But you know, just keep in mind that this thing could come down to that 0.236 at $18, and it would just be disappointing, but still normal for it to do that. But if AVAX actually starts catching bids here, if Bitcoin goes to new all-time highs, then we could see the 1272 fib extension level at $29.79 here come into play. And then we could see the 1618 at $33. So I think this thing has like a 50% move up from where it is right now to the upside. And that $33 level would just put it at the same level that it was trading at back in January and February. So we know it can do that. It just needs to cash those bids. All right, moving on from AVAX to Mavia. All right, let's see. Mavia currently trading at 16 cents, up 2.4% today. Jeez, I'm just looking at the previous price action. This thing, jeez, down and to the right, looking like a true altcoin, to be honest. Mavia was trading as high as like $6, $9.57 on March of 2024. And it looks like you bottomed out at like $1 a bunch of times back in like 2024. Like July of 2024, $1. August, $1. September, $1. And the dollar was just the level to hold for the most part. And then it just, what? It just cave dived on March of 2025. This thing must have got delisted and then relisted. So let's see. March. Oh, this thing stopped trading on December 16th. And then it traded again in March of 2025. This thing looks like it got delisted off of Binance and then relisted. Is it because that's a perpetual contract? Let me see if I can find another exchange where it didn't get delisted. Hey, Mexi? Okay. Yeah, but even on Mexi, like this thing, you know, was respecting the dollar level for the most part. And then you got your bids here, you got your Trump pump, and then you got the dump in December. And then you lost that $1 level, it looks like, in January. Right before Donald Trump got inaugurated. Bam. I'm just looking at the history of this just to get an idea of like where this thing's been. And alright, so are we actually bottoming out here on Mavia? I need to see some things here for bottom. I need to see higher lows. I need to see bullish divergence. Let's take a look to see, are we getting bullish divergence on the RSI? Looks like the lowest lows back in March was like a 19 on the RSI. And yeah, you are making higher lows here. But is that confluent with lower lows here on the price for a divergence? So obviously you're making lower lows on the price here, and then you made higher lows, and then what the hell, out of nowhere on like March 18th, this thing got the impulse move to higher prices, got rejected off the 50-day moving average, then came on down to lower prices here, and then that 50-day moving average has just been like that green line. This green line, this 50 moving average, has been acting as like resistance all throughout the last few months here. So I guess the thing that this thing needs to do, Mavia needs to actually get above the 50-day moving average, that green line, and actually use it as support instead of resistance. It keeps using it as resistance, and while it's doing that, it's making lower highs and lower lows. But looks like March 11th was the lowest low for the year at 9.5 cents. I don't know if this thing is bottoming out. 9.5 cents was the lowest low. Okay. And we came close to threatening to go down to that level again here on July 8th. We came as low as 12.5 cents. So technically a higher low. Technically the beginning of bottoming out. Unless you make another lower low, then you're fine. You're fine as long as you don't make another lower low. But if we can start, catching some bids here and and start making higher highs and higher lows here, then you can use your moving averages as your resistance. Your take profit target is going to be 21 cents as of now. Then your second take profit target is going to be the 200-day moving average at 24 cents. I just think you just use the moving averages for now as your take profit targets on Mavia. And you probably put your stop loss right below 12.5 cents. We already had kind of like the move early in July, and now you're kind of like flagging out a little bit. But I would just put the stop loss at 12 cents or 12.5 cents. Hopefully it doesn't hit, and maybe you could be catching the bottom on this thing. But yeah, I don't know what this asset does. I don't know what it's gonna need as a positive catalyst to get it to go to higher prices here, but could be a low risk, high reward situation, just like AI16Z and Grass. Let's see, I've been live for about 2 hours. I was gonna only do a 2-hour live stream, and we kind of hit that mark already. And someone said double top. Did you meant to say double bottom or double top? And what asset are you talking about? For my TikTok guy. Anyways, I think I'm gonna finish off by looking at Bitcoin, see what Bitcoin is doing, and then we'll end the live stream here. Bitcoin currently trading at $115,690, up a little bit from when I first started the live stream. I think the worst might be over for the last 2 weeks, mainly because we do have something to look forward to here, guys. For you guys who like to follow the moon cycles, we do have the full moon coming up here on August 9th. And what I've noticed over the last year or two is every time we have a full moon, the price of Bitcoin goes up. It's like a week or two after the full moon is over. So, maybe that's what's gonna happen again this time, like it's been happening the last year or two now. I kind of put on the 1 hour time frame, but let me go with a daily time frame here, and I'm gonna show you guys the ridiculous moon cycle chart here that always seems to like predict where Bitcoin's going next. Okay. So let me go ahead and turn on that indicator here. You know, why not? You guys been in the stream long enough. You guys know I'm not that ridiculous with a TA. But moon cycle seems to be a thing, to be honest, because every time we have a full moon, price goes up. New moon, price possibly goes down. Full moon, price goes up. Every time we get a full moon, we either get a bounce or the price goes up. Right? Here, you know, on February 2025, price just went sideways, so it didn't really go up, didn't really go down. But it didn't go down, I'll tell you that. When the full moon comes, the price does not go down. If anything, if that's all you take from the full moon and the moon cycles, the price does not go down when the full moon comes. So if the price doesn't go down, then maybe it goes sideways or maybe it goes up. And if Bitcoin goes sideways, that's good for the altcoins. And if Bitcoin goes up, that's good for the altcoins. So I think the altcoins are going to have a good week or two coming up here based on the moon cycles. Let's see. The last moon cycle, right, was July 11th or July 10th. Look what happened. That same day, Bitcoin went up 4%, which is pretty significant for Bitcoin to do, with it being like a $2 trillion asset. And then the next day, it was a green day. Then the next day after that was like a small red day. Then another green day, and then that's when we hit $123,000 Bitcoin. We hit $123,000 Bitcoin after the full moon in July. So what does that mean? You know, I remember I titled this live stream, "When will Bitcoin get a new all-time high again?" Might be right after the full moon that we're getting in on Saturday here. So yeah, it is a thing here, right? We had a new moon. New moons aren't that great. New moons means price might not go up. Most likely it's not going to go up after the new moon. And the new moon was Friday, July 25th. So now we're starting to get back into that full moon energy again. And I just think we might see new all-time highs on Bitcoin. And if we do see new all-time highs, then we're looking to see if Bitcoin wants to get to $130,000 level all over again. Okay? But zooming in onto the 1 hour time frame here. Oh, look at that. Look at that. On the 1 hour time frame, Bitcoin just got above the 200 moving average on the 1 hour time frame. We can start flipping bullish here. And look, Bitcoin's at the highest price that it's been today. At least my live stream. You know, we haven't seen prices this high during my live stream. So we're cashing those bids right now. We barely touched this buy zone that I had at 110 Let's see, what is it? I gotta zoom out here a little bit more. Well, I had this buy zones anywhere between like $108,000 to $112,000 Bitcoin. We did not go lower than 112. We kind of created a higher low here on the 1 hour time frame. And I think Bitcoin is ready to start making higher moves here, to higher prices here. Yep. Let's see. I'm gonna go to the 4 hour time frame, and I'm gonna turn on the Market Cipher B. Looks like we just got a green dot here on Market Cipher B at 4 o'clock in the morning earlier today on Wednesday. So you have the green light to go buy crypto and buy Bitcoin. That green light came on the 4 hour time frame at 4 o'clock. Now we're waiting for some of the higher time frames, like the daily time frame. We're still waiting for a green dot to show up on Market Cipher B. When that does, then you know for damn sure you're probably gonna have another few good days, few good weeks once you see that green dot come up for Bitcoin here on Market Cipher B. Last time we had a green dot was June 25th, and we know what happened going into July, right? So we're just waiting for another green dot here, and then maybe we get another few good weeks, few good days here. Yes, sir. Bitcoin is moving, and I was expecting it to move. I was not getting bearish and pessimistic with Bitcoin at 112K. I was just looking for buying opportunities. I was like, all right, well, let's see if it gets down to 107K or 110K, which is where my Fibonacci was sitting at, these levels. But we didn't hit those levels. We're now going this way, and all right, maybe we retest $117,900 Bitcoin. That 786 retracement all over again. But I think we're doing quite all right. I think this is just another buy the dip opportunity here. And if you didn't, oh well, you know, I guess you could buy now. And then you just put your stop loss below here. Okay, at 111K, $111,500 Bitcoin. But yeah, it's not too late to buy some relatively cheap Bitcoin compared to where it was all throughout the middle of July. And we're aiming for 130,000 and even higher than that, 138,000 on the 1618 here. John saying that Kronos is tied with Pengu as a top coin today. I'm missing out. Alright. I could buy Kronos on Coinbase, right? That's a, let me see, let me type in there. If I wanted to buy Kronos. There's just so many coins to get involved in. You just gotta pick which one you like, which narrative you believe in the most. But yeah, it looks like Kronos Crane's on Coinbase, so I could probably buy some. I could also buy some on Mexi as well, yeah. I know there's like another coin that I think Rich likes to talk about that requires me to do wrap Ethereum and all that other decentralized exchange bull crap, and I'm like, that seems like a lot of work just to double my money. But anyways, that's gonna be it for this live stream, guys. I appreciate you guys coming out. Don't forget to hit the like button on the way out if you haven't already. And we'll just plan on seeing each other tomorrow, maybe same time. If excuse me, if I'm not live streaming around this time, then maybe like 4 or 5 p.m. towards the late afternoon, you can catch me on the live stream here. But yeah, I got to recover, take some cough medicine, try to recover from this little summer cold that I got. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care, guys.